What happens when a boy grows up in a digital world instead of the real one? More and more boys are picking up a controller before they've even started school. The games are colorful, addictive, and designed to keep them playing. And once they're hooked young, breaking that habit in the teenage years becomes a massive challenge. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, children aged 8 to 18 now spend an average of 7.5 hours per day in front of screens, with a large portion of that dedicated to gaming. And for boys, the numbers are even higher. Gaming addiction isn't just about time spent, it's about what they're not doing instead. No movement, no fresh air, no social skills. Obesity rates are climbing. The CDC reports that 1 in 5 children in the US is now considered obese. Sleep disorders are on the rise too, with blue light exposure and late-night gaming disrupting healthy sleep cycles. Socially, it's just as concerning. A child who games for hours a day isn't developing communication skills, emotional intelligence, or the confidence that comes from real-world interaction. Instead of learning how to resolve conflict or read body language, boys are learning how to mute opponents and respawn. And it's not just about quantity, it's about content. What are boys actually playing? Games where violence isn't just present, it's the goal. Fortnite, Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto. These are some of the most played games among boys aged 10 to 17. In GTA, you're rewarded for stealing cars, attacking civilians, and running from police. In Call of Duty, you're trained to shoot fast, think tactically, and eliminate threats. In 2015, the American Psychological Association released a report concluding that there is a consistent relation between violent video game use and increases in aggressive behavior, aggressive cognition, and aggressive affect. And while the report didn't claim video games cause criminal violence, it did confirm that repeated exposure can desensitize players to real-life harm. Psychologist Dr. Douglas Gentile, a leading researcher in media and child development, says, "Video games are excellent teachers, and what they teach depends on the content. That's the real issue. Games aren't neutral. They're teaching tools. And when boys spend thousands of hours inside games that glorify killing, speeding, and destruction, it shapes their worldview. Racing games like Need for Speed and GTA also normalize dangerous driving. Reckless stunts, high-speed police chases, and crashes are presented as thrilling rather than life-threatening. For boys who aren't old enough to drive yet, this sets a dangerous tone, and it goes deeper. Gaming can impact mental health. A 2020 study in the journal Psychiatry Research found that problematic gaming is significantly associated with symptoms of depression, anxiety, and social phobia, especially in adolescent boys. Yet despite all this, gaming isn't going away. And to be fair, there are benefits. Gaming can build hand-eye coordination. It can foster online friendships, especially for kids who struggle socially in real life. It can even provide a sense of mastery and achievement, which boosts confidence. Some games are educational or encourage creativity and problem solving. In moderation, gaming can be fun and healthy. But here's the real question. At what cost? Should we allow children unrestricted access to games designed for adults? Should countries implement stronger age-based regulations and enforce them the way they do with alcohol or tobacco? Should schools and governments actively promote physical play, team sports, and outdoor activity to balance out screen time? Because if we don't ask these questions, we risk something bigger than addiction. We risk raising a generation that can't cope without stimulation. That feels more at home in digital fantasies than the real world. And that's not just a parenting problem, it's a societal one. Tell us, do you agree or not?